the freeze frame on her face right there, on that picture, tells it all. Tells how that interview went with Fox. It was bad. It was real bad. It was Michael Jackson bad. Yep. To the point to where I almost felt bad for her, because that face right there was. She made that face a lot during the interview, because not only did Fox have Brett, which he did a great job of interviewing, but they had receipts, they had data, they had clips, video clips. It was to the point of, it was just like, they even had her team at the end, Kamala, I guess, campaign team, or to tell them to wrap it up, because it wasn't even 28 minutes. I think it ended up being about 27 minutes. And so it was so bad, they had her team to tell her, it's time to wrap up. We got to get out of here, because it was so lopsided and pretty much confirmed everything as far as her being incompetent, her being a fraud. It was pretty bad, and I want to play some of this for y'all.
In recent days, your campaign slogan is a new way forward, and it's time to turn the page. You've been vice president for 3.5 years, so what are you turning the page from?
Well, first of all, turning the page from the last decade in which we've been burdened with the kind of rhetoric coming from Donald Trump that has been designed and implemented to divide our country.
Okay. The last decade, Trump was in office for 3.5 years, 4 years, from 2016 to 2020. So, and then he ran again in 2020 and lost the election. And so what is a new way forward if you've been the way that we've been now? Because you've been in the office the last 3.5 years. And so, again, this is just a copy and paste, I think, from the whole Obama thing. New way forward, or what I think her and Biden did, a new way forward in 2020. And so now she wants to do the same thing on this campaign, but the difference is she's actually been in office doing all the stuff, so she's trying to move forward from what they've already did. It makes no sense.
And have Americans literally point fingers at each other. Rhetoric and an approach to leadership that suggests that the strength of a leader is based on who you beat down instead of what we all know. The strength of leadership is based on who you lift up. The strength of an American president, which is one who understands that the vast majority of us have more in common than what separates us.
Madam Vice President, more than 70% of people
that is about turning the page on rhetoric that people are frankly exhausted of, Brett.
More than 70% of people tell the country is on the wrong track. They say the country is on the wrong track. If it's on the wrong track, that track follows 3.5 years of you being vice president and President Biden being president. That is what they're saying, 79% of them. Why are they saying that? If you're turning the page, you've been in office for 3.5 years.
And Donald Trump has been running for office.
But you've been the
See, stuff like that, and Donald Trump has been running for office. Like, running for office and actually being in that seat, especially in the last 4 years, is, you know what I'm saying? It's just like people that take that for an answer are want to be fooled. They want to be bamboozled. And even if you look at the reality of it, Republicans only been in office the last 4 years. 4 years out of the last 16 years. So Democrats has been running, the presidency has been in the Oval Office 12 years to the Republicans 4. So any rhetoric that's been ingrained into the country has to be the Democratic side, because 12 out of the last 16 years, a Democrat has been in there.
Come on. You and I both know what I'm talking about. You and I both know what I'm talking about.
I actually don't. What are you talking about?
What I'm talking about is that over the last decade, people have become... But listen, over the last decade, it is clear to me, and certainly the Republicans who are on stage with me, the former chief of staff to the president, Donald Trump, former defense secretaries, national security advisor, and his vice president. One, that he is unfit to serve, that he is unstable, that he is dangerous, and that people are exhausted with someone who professes to be a leader who spends full-time...
Okay, and I do want to say that because I brought this up to, I don't know if it's on the pod or somebody else, when she says a threat to democracy, when she said he is dangerous, right? Like, is that not inciting violence or having other people fear in themselves? Like, I don't think that it's no coincidence that they keep on saying that, or she keeps saying that, and Walsh keeps saying that, and then you have attempts on Trump's life twice that we know about, right? So, but if it happens on the other side, we're talking about, I hate to get into it, the whole January 6th thing, where he said he incited a riot. He didn't told the people to do that. Like, okay, if you think he incited a riot on this side, and then the way that she talks during this campaign, talking about a threat to democracy, he's dangerous, he'll do this or do that. Like, you don't think that's inciting other people on your side to do something violent to him, or to think harshly toward him, or to do something like, yeah, it's two-faced.
And engaging in personal grievances, and it being about him instead of the American people. People are tired of that.
If that's the case, why is half the country supporting him? Why is he beating you in a lot of swing states? Why, if he's as bad as you say, that half of this country is now supporting this person who could be the 47th president of the United States? Why is that happening?
This is an election for president of the United States. It's not supposed to be easy.
I know, but
it's not supposed to be. It is not supposed to be a
cakewalk.
So
are they misguided? The 50%? Are they stupid?
What is it? I would never say that about the American people. And in fact, if you listen to Donald Trump, if you watch any of his rallies, he's the one who tends to demean and belittle and diminish the American people. He's the one who talks about an enemy within, an enemy within, talking about the American people, suggesting he would turn the American military on the American people.
We asked that question to the former president today. Harris Faulkner had a town hall, and this is how he responded.
I heard about that. They were saying I was like threatening. I'm not threatening anybody. They're the ones doing the threatening. They do phony investigations. I've been investigated more than Alphonse Capone. He was the greatest gangster. No, it's true. But think of it. It's called weaponization of government. It's a terrible thing.
So,
Brett, I'm sorry, and with all due respect, that clip was not what he has been saying about the enemy within that he has repeated when he's speaking about the American people. That's not what you just showed.
Well, he was asked about that specific...
No, that's not what you just showed. In all fairness and respect to you...
I'm telling you, that was the question that we asked him.
You didn't show that, and here's the bottom line. He has repeated it many times, and you and I both know that. And you and I both know that he has talked about turning the American military on the American people. He has talked about going after people who are engaged in peaceful protest. He has talked about locking people up because they disagree with him.
Yeah. Stuff like that. If somebody can send me a link or send me a video clip or send me an article to where Trump actually said those things about, in context now, and turning the U.S. military over on U.S. citizens. Like, stuff like that, given his reputation, given what a lot of people already think about him, a lot of people don't even look that up or think twice, been like, oh no, that's on cue. That sounds like something that he would say, and not actually get in context of an article or actual video clip where he's actually saying that. Most of the time that I've seen where they're saying Trump saying certain phrases like that is taken out of context. It's not given exactly what he was actually saying. He'll say that, but then the context is key, man. Context matters. That should matter more than anything.
And this is a democracy, and in a democracy,
it's actually a republic. The United States has always been a republic. It's a republic. So this whole is a democracy thing. It sounds cute. It's cool. It's, you know what I'm saying. It sells papers, sells pages, but we're a democracy. I mean, we're a republic. That is, we're a republic.
The President of the United States in the United States of America should be willing to be able to handle criticism without saying he'd lock people up for doing it. And this is what is at stake, which is why you have someone like the former chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff saying what Mark Milley has said about Donald Trump being a threat to the United States of America.
He's quoted in the Bob Woodward book that way, yes. Let me ask you this, Madam Vice President. You call Donald Trump.
The significance
you
of that.
call Donald Trump. He's misguided. You say now
he's unstable. He is unstable, Brett.
He's not well. You say he's mentally not stable.
He's not stable.
Let me ask you this. You told many interviewers that Joe Biden was on his game, that ran around circles on his staff. When did you first notice that President Biden's mental faculties appeared diminished?
Joe Biden, I have watched from the Oval Office to the Situation Room. And he has the judgment and the experience to do exactly what he has done in making very...
Yeah. Now, this is stuff that I'm talking about. When it comes to stuff like this, like, okay, Biden has nothing to do with her campaign. He's not running for president, clearly. But the thing is, we can't, for 1 second, get VP Kamala just to be real. Like everybody, no matter or not, this is one thing I think both sides agreed on, that Biden has been losing it. Like he doesn't seem to have it all there. He's not mentally stable or cognitive enough to do the job that he was voted in to do. And so for her not even just to be real in that moment, it speaks to the incompetence, and also speaks to just the fraudness and just want her just to be a robot, want to stay on these points that she wants everybody to know. So stick to those points and not really just have a chill bone to be like, okay, frankly, like this is what it is. You know what I'm saying? It's always something else, or always somebody else's fault. And when you use your campaign to always talk about the person that you're running against, that tells me something. That tells me that you don't really have more so a plan. Or even when you do have a plan, it's about giveaways. It's about what I'm going to give you. It's about what I'm going to loan you. It's about, you know what I mean? So it's just, I just think it was a bad way in how they handled the campaign, because it was never centered around what she could do. She centered it around a new way forward. But a new way forward means that you're going to get away from the administration that you said that you wouldn't do anything differently. So
important decisions on behalf of the American people.
There were no concerns raised?
Brett, Joe Biden is not on the ballot.
I understand.
And Donald Trump
but
is.
You talked about it.
And Donald Trump
After
is.
George Clooney said within a few minutes of talking to President Biden at a fundraiser that he thought this was not the same Joe Biden that we saw on the debate stage.
Donald Trump is on the ballot.
I understand. You met with him at least once a week for 3.5 years. You didn't have any concerns?
I think the American people have a concern about Donald Trump, which is why the people who know him best, including leaders of our national security community, have all spoken out. Even people who worked for him in the Oval Office, worked with him in the Situation Room, and have said he is unfit and dangerous and should never be president of the United States again, including his former vice president, which is why the job was open for him to choose another running mate. So,
all right, I don't want to make this video too long, but between this, the Tim Walsh thing with him going to debate with J.D. Vance, the Candace Owens stuff that she's been coming out with recently, got a lot of receipts. It's not looking good, and I wouldn't be surprised at all if Trump wins in a landslide. But again, with everything that's going on today, you can't put anything past anybody, especially the government and all those involved. What do y'all think, man? Hit up the comments, man. Let me know. Until next time, y'all. Salute.